Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Center on Halsted's Centering Voices. We are here continuing to celebrate Trans Day of Visibility, and we have another exciting guest with us here today. Very excited to introduce you to Keri Traid. Hi, Keri. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Look, how about yourself?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Happy to be here with you.
You same here, likewise.
Thank you for donating your time to us and being a part of this little video series. This is something Center on Halsted. We are really doing our best to showcase amazing people, specifically in this regard for Trans Day of Visibility. You came to my mind pretty quickly as somebody that we could showcase. I'm familiar with your work throughout Chicago and some of the awesome things you have going on, but I'll let you talk about you. If you could just give us a little bit of an intro about, who you are.
Yes, I'm Keri Davis, legally, and then my stage name is Keri Traid. I am a performer in the Chicago area for the last 15 years, so I'm pretty up there. um, I have been recently advocating and trying to be a voice for trans individuals to make sure that we are seen, visible, and heard.
Amazing. And we need as many of those voices as possible,
Yeah,
especially during the times that we're in right now.
that is very
Thank,
correct.
thank you for the work that you're doing. And we'll get a little bit more into the specifics here. But as I said, we are here for Trans Day of Visibility. And I'm curious for you, what does Trans Day of Visibility look like? Why is this day important?
Circling back to what you said, for me, Trans Day of Visibility just means being visible in a world that's trying to shut us out, being being active and an advocate and trying to get people to know that we are not going anywhere. Trans is not a crime. Trans lives matter. It's important to have the education behind this lifestyle because so many people think that we're predators and different other things, and we're not that at all. We're just trying to make the world a better place, especially for a lot of kids that are coming up that don't have that voice or don't know or have those resources to identify as.
It's so true. And then one thing, you mentioned about activism and using your voice. It's so important, especially all times of the year, of course. But we are here for T-Dub. I've been seeing all the activism that you've been doing lately. And I know you've been getting involved with LGBTQ advisory boards and things like that. I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about what that experience was for you, maybe how you got into this and what you're looking to explore further.
Well, when I was first coming up, there wasn't a lot of resources that helped me try to identify who I was. I was always watching like Jerry Springer and Mari Povich, and they were always the ones that kind of like put trans people in like a negative light, like trying to make us look like something that we're not. There was really no education behind it to say like this is what these people are doing in a good light rather than a bad light, I guess I can say.
Mhm. I remember those shows, like watching those when I was a kid too, and it's goes to the point of like not all visibility is necessarily good. It's the intentionality behind the visibility, and
Right.
those shows were like used as like a spectacle of sorts or something like that.
Yes. Kind of one of the shows too, like with the Jerry Springer, it was almost like we were made out as like clowns and people just like laughing at us rather than trying to get like helpful information that can help like a little me that was watching the show. So
And that's what you're out here doing now, helping little yous and future yous
yeah,
to be themselves and accept themselves. What's some of the work that I believe it's out of Aurora,
yeah,
correct?
yes.
So what's some of the work that you're going to be doing?
Yeah, so we help our individuals creating a safe space for LGBTQ plus youth and just older people as well, providing a safe space and trying to get the word out there that there's a lot of education that comes behind living like this. And I guess I would say it like that, yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for the work that you're doing. It's
Thank you so much.
extremely valuable. But prior to this work, you've also, as you said, for the last 15 years, you've been essentially a staple in the queer community out here in Chicago. Talk to us a little bit. I mean, I know that you're involved in the drag scene. I know that you're involved in pageantry. You're our current Miss Illinois Continental. Could you tell us a little bit about your experience in drag as a trans woman and just a little bit about the pageant world?
Yes, I got started. It was not really a mistake. It was an accident. Kind of where a lot of the drag queens, they get born on Halloween. And that first night, I just felt like something was like missing. And I knew that this was kind of like my calling in a way. I love to dance. I love to entertain. I was involved in a lot of pageants for Miss Joliet Pride Fest, Miss Illinois Continental, and just to see like a lot of the youth that were there and like just looking up and like kind of like being an influential role in with the kids, I guess I can say.
Nice, nice. And can you tell us a little bit more about what it means to be Miss Illinois Continental for those who might not know what that is?
Yes, it's a preliminary pageant that is going to be held in Chicago Labor Day weekend for Miss Continental. This is kind of the preliminary ticket to Miss Continental. And you compete in different categories from evening gowns, swimwear, question and answer and interview, and talent as well. And they want to see what you can showcase and the work that you do behind just having the crown. You can have a crown and win the crown, but it to me it's how are you reigning with the crown? How is your voice being heard? For me, I guess that's what I can say.
Okay, so it's just like so many different factors kind of compiled into one, all
Yes.
building up into one big night
Yeah.
where you're competing against, I'm assuming a lot of your sisters, right?
Yeah. Last year I think it was 33 girls and I placed 17th. So I was 5 away from the top 12. So this year I want to go back and definitely hit the 12 and definitely hit the 5 as well.
Awesome. I'm sure you're going to.
Yeah.
Very excited. We'll be rooting for you over here at Center and in the North Halsted area. I know you have a lot of fans here, so
Thank you so
excited.
much.
You're welcome. Excited to see, yeah, how that pans out. So, Keri, because we are talking about Trans Day of Visibility, I want to highlight the importance of intersectionality. Obviously, trans people come in all different forms, just like anybody else. Like it is, it's one part of your identity, but what comes into that identity too are things like race, ethnicity, age. I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about how intersectionality impacts you, being a trans woman of color.
Well, yes, being a trans woman of color right now is kind of difficult because we have a lot of Black and brown trans women that are being murdered for just simply being themselves or being put into situations where they can't get out of. I like to be a voice for that because a lot of those Black and brown trans women, they were essentially murdered and their voice was never heard. So I tried to be a voice for that, or like a voice for reason, I guess you can say.
Okay. Yeah, it's so it's unfortunate the statistics behind that, just the violence that trans women of color face on the daily, which is even more important why we have folks like yourself who are willing to get out there, brave some of the negativity and use your voice for good.
Yes, I definitely agree with. There's so much going on in the world, and again, with a lot of Black and brown trans sisters, a lot of trans women that I've known who have passed away for again just simply being themselves.
Mm. I hope that we can. Part of me, feels like we're moving forward, and then it steps back, right, and then forward, and then steps back.
Yeah,
Uh, but thank you for highlighting that, and we will continue to support trans folk of people of color and making sure that we are doing everything we can here at Center, also to help support that community.
mm,
On a different note, I know that we are kind of getting wrapping up here already. Seems like we just started talking. On a more positive note, are you doing anything fun to celebrate Trans Day of Visibility? And also, I wanted to give you a chance to, highlight any upcoming events you have.
yes. This week was a lot of press for me, so I did a lot of interviews with the Daily Herald. I just got added to the LGBT advisory board, so that happened this week. So it kind of happened within the week of trans visibility, and it just kind of it makes me feel seen. It makes me feel heard and validated. This week, I have Miss Chicago Trans Visibility, which is a pageant here in Chicago as well. I actually won 2 years ago, so I'm going back as a former this year, and we will be crowning a new trans woman of color. And I think I have Kit Kat as well, Saturday and Sunday. So I always have a lot on my plate.
You're very busy. It's very busy weekend for sure. Uh, and where can people find you on social media if they want to give you a follow?
You can follow me on Instagram at I am Keri Traid, and that's spelled IAMKERITRAID.
Thank you, Keri. And then also, if you want to find more about Center on Halsted and all the good stuff that we do, all the work that we do here, it's www.centeronhalsted.org or on Instagram at center_on_Halsted. Again, one big thank you to Keri. Thank you for donating your time. Good luck on the pageant. Good luck at your role on the advisory board. You have such a bright future ahead of you, and you're just starting, and it's you've been in the field for so long already, and you're just starting. So it's just awesome. Thank you again.
Of course, thank you.
And this has been Center on Halsted, Centering Voices.